All right, let's dive right in. We've got a new paid AI agent on the scene, Manus 1.5, and it's making a pretty bold claim. It's calling itself a super agent that's supposedly 4 times faster than it was before. But the real question is, can it actually stand up to a free, powerful, and, let's face it, well-established tool like Google Gemini? Well, we're going to put them head-to-head and find out.
So this is really the big question we're looking at today, isn't it? Manus is basically betting that a massive speed boost is something you'd be willing to pay for. But when you have a powerhouse like Gemini just sitting there, completely free, is speed alone really enough to make you open your wallet? Let's see if the performance actually matches the hype.
So, in one corner, we've got the challenger, Manus 1.5. It's a paid tool, and it's promising a huge jump in speed. And in the other corner, the reigning champ, Google Gemini. It's free, it's powerful, and it's already got a proven track record. The showdown starts now.
Okay, first things first. Let's tackle the biggest claim Manus is making head-on. We're talking about its speed. I mean, if you're going to ask people to pay for something, it had better deliver on its main promise, right?
And here is that promise, straight from their own marketing. They're setting a really specific expectation here. A task that used to be a 15-minute slog should now be done in under 4. Now that's not just a little tweak, that's a total game changer, and it's pretty much the #1 reason you'd even think about paying for this.
And here's where that promise just completely falls apart. In a real-world test, just building a simple app, Manus 1.5 took over 15 minutes, and it didn't even finish the job. It didn't just miss that 4-minute target, it was actually slower than the old version. That is a massive red flag right out of the gate.
So what on earth is going on under the hood? Well, it turns out Manus has this really weird way of doing things. It uses a simulated web browser to do its research. You can literally sit there and watch it slowly click around the web. It's painful. Gemini, on the other hand, just pulls the information directly. It's a way faster method.
Okay, so the speed claim was a bust. But how do these two AIs actually stack up on real business tasks? We're going to run them through a little gauntlet of 3 common challenges: lead generation, building a landing page, and doing some market research. Let's see how they do.
First up, lead generation. The task was simple. Find SEO agencies and make a contact list. And the result? It wasn't even close. After 12 minutes, Manus was still just spinning its wheels with absolutely nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, Gemini spit out a complete, perfectly formatted spreadsheet almost instantly. Total knockout.
Next, let's build a landing page. Now, to be fair, both AIs came up with pretty decent sales copy. The big difference was the process. With Manus, it was just painfully slow. Gemini, again, delivered its version right away. And that speed gives you a huge advantage, because you can just keep tweaking and improving it on the fly.
Okay, now for this one, the result is a little more interesting. In our market research challenge, Manus was actually faster. But the information it gave back was just a messy, disorganized jumble. Gemini, while it took a little bit longer, delivered a much higher quality report. It was organized, it was in a table, it even had a SWOT analysis. This is a classic case of quality over speed.
And this quote from the tester, Julian Goldie, really just says it all. The theme we keep seeing here isn't that Manus can't do the work, it's just so slow that it's not practical. Especially when you've got a free, super fast alternative just sitting right there.
But wait, it's not all bad news for Manus. It does have one really unique trick up its sleeve that sets it apart from Gemini, and that is video creation. So let's take a closer look at that. Maybe there's a glimmer of hope here.
So here's how it works. You give Manus a prompt, and it goes through this 4-step process. First, it makes a storyboard. Then, it creates still images for each scene in that storyboard. After that, it turns those images into short little video clips. And then, and this is the really cool part, it stitches all of those clips together into one single cohesive video for you.
And that right there is the big differentiator. It's this ability to create a whole narrative video from just one prompt. Gemini can make you short, little 8-second clips, sure, but it can't plan out a whole sequence or edit them together for you. This automated stitching is a genuinely unique feature, and it could save you a ton of editing time.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, what about the quality? Well, the final videos were described as, quote, not great. So while the idea is awesome, the execution just isn't quite there yet. The real potential here might be to forget about its video generation and instead use it as an editor, uploading your own clips for it to stitch together.
All right, we've seen the promises, we've run the tests, and we've checked out that one unique feature. I think it's time to bring it all together and finally declare a winner in this AI agent showdown.
You know, the scorecard here tells a pretty clear story. Just look at the chart. Gemini absolutely dominated across the board. Speed, lead generation, and the quality of its research. It was, without a doubt, a decisive victory for the free tool.
So let's do a final tally. For Manus 1.5, the only real check in the Pro column is that unique video stitching feature. The cons? Well, it's incredibly slow, it gets totally outperformed by a free tool, and it runs on a pretty expensive credit system. Now for Google Gemini, it's all pros. It's free, it's blazing fast, and the quality of its work is excellent.
And there you have it, the final word straight from the guy who did all the testing. After putting both through their paces, the verdict is in. Google Gemini is the winner.
So, here's the bottom line. Manus has this one cool video idea, but its core performance just doesn't come close to justifying the price tag. And that really leaves us with one critical question for you to think about. Why would you ever pay for a tool that's slower and less effective when there's a faster, high-quality alternative that costs absolutely nothing? The choice seems pretty clear.